Well, I lead our wine group, Amy, so there's 20 lawyers in our wine group. I'm the only one who's 100% wine industry, but a number of them would be at least 50% wine industry, and we act for wineries all over Australia. About 70% of the work comes from outside of South Australia, which surprises people. And we act for the big guys like Treasury Wine Estates, Pernod Ricard, Accolade, and some sort of middle-sized guys like Brown Brothers, Campbell's, Henschke, Darrenberg, then a whole massive little tiny mum and dad businesses. So it's a great variety, which is a lot of fun.
So today you spoke about family succession planning. What are the common issues faced by families?
Well, it's a huge issue in the wine industry because so much of the wine industry is made up of family businesses. I mean, to be over 90% of wine businesses are family businesses. Only a small part of production relative to the big guys, but by number, a really high proportion of the wine industry. And it just seems that at the moment, for some reason, there seems to be a lot of family businesses, a lot of wine industry businesses going through transition to the next generation. The good news is that a lot of the kids do want to be involved, despite the over a decade of really tough times that the industry's had. There are families going through to the 6th generation now, which is just fantastic. The big issue, there's a lot of issues with succession, but probably the biggest one is fronting it, is actually resolving to do it and get on with it. I mean, it's very tempting to put it in the too hard basket and say, look, we'll just let the kids sort it out. That's irresponsible, in my opinion. I think it's really irresponsible of the current generation not to actually put a smooth succession process in place, because what they're often doing by putting their head in the sand like that is leaving the kids with a nightmare scenario. It's a time bomb. I've seen it go off several times, and I tell you, as a lawyer, it's great for my business, but it's not the sort of work I want to be doing. I'd much rather be helping people up front transition the business to the next generation. So it's a matter of really the current generation deciding this is probably the most important thing I can do for my business and my family, and then engaging properly with the next generation. Communication's the key. Having the deep conversations, the robust conversations, so frank, open, honest, but respectful conversations. Try to find out exactly what the kids really want, what their aspirations really are. And on the flip side, the kids need to know what the aspirations, what the intentions, the desires of the current generation are as regards their retirement. Do they want a cold turkey, just get out and go to the beach, or do they want to phase out? Over what time frame? Give the kids a bit of certainty about whether they will be taking over the business and over what time frame.
So what tools are available for families wanting to do a succession plan?
Primarily I think it's a matter of getting really good advice. And Brad Simmons, who's here, is really good at that. I mean, I do a lot of it myself. There are accountants who do a lot of it. You really need to work in conjunction with a lawyer and your family accountant. And if it's a big business, maybe someone like Mutual Trust as well, a family office advisory organisation. And then it's really, a lot of it's common sense, and the key, as I said, is communication. Now, you just need to be able to communicate properly as a family, and sometimes you do need help doing that.
So you're a vigneron yourself. What are you excited about the SA grape growing industry?
I just think it's a really exciting time to be involved in the wine industry. I mean, having been through wine and viticultural industries, which are really so totally interlinked, of course. Having been through 12, some say 15 years of really, really tough conditions, there's just a mood right around the country at the moment. I mean, I see it wearing my lawyer hat because I travel around the country a lot talking to clients. There's a mood of cautious optimism, I call it. And other people call it that as well. I've heard that term bandied around quite a bit, but I think it's apt. It's not to say that everybody's creaming it. There's still a fair bit of pain out there. But there is more optimism in the wine industry than I reckon there's been for 12, 15 years. And so there's still massive challenges, and we've got a wine roadshow going around the country at the moment talking about those challenges, Finlaysons Wine Roadshow 25. But despite those challenges, there is real opportunity, and we heard a bit about that this morning.
One final question for you. What's your favourite wine variety to drink at the moment?
Oh, gee. I mean, I like to drink a vast variety of wine, as long as it's good. But if you said, if you put me on a desert island and said I could only take 2 bottles, it'd be great Chardonnay and great Pinot Noir.
Perfect. Thank you so much.